Hello everyone, I'm going to show you some more 3D print stuff. So this is something I've been working on for the last few days. It is a Imperial Dalek by Audrey on Thingiverse. I'll put a link in the description. I've got a couple of other things to show you as well as a couple of my early attempts at 3D printing. I think only one of them, I don't know who made it. Everything else I'll put a link in the description. So this is actually my third attempt at doing a Imperial Dalek. So if you have a look at how cool this is. I mean, these aren't the actual hemispheres. These little things are. I've got all of them printed off, but I'm not going to put them on until I've painted them. I might have to reprint this skirt because for some reason it did this. No, I was actually having a problem with the printer before, and you can see it on these two domes, and so if I just take this eye stalk off, so you see how that's pretty round, especially the eye. Is that going to focus? Sort of. So you see how that's pretty round. So this was the first attempt. Now if you compare the two, the circles are quite squashed, and even the baffles, the rings aren't very good. This comes in two pieces, that's why it's a bit funky. I might reprint this again and just properly clamp it shut. But you can also tell the biggest tell is on the eye. So yeah, that's basically been squashed. I thought it was a problem with warping, because if you look at the domes, the two domes I tried. The reason this has got grey in it is because there was a little bit of grey filament stuck on the extruder. So that's why that's like that. They're not very good, and it actually showed up when I tried to put the ears in. It just doesn't fit. Now these should be these have been made in 3D, so you can control the the radius and everything, so everything should fit together. I mean that sticks in there, but only because that's a tight fit, whereas yeah, that's not been glued on yet either. And if you're wondering what I'm using to stick this on, it's actually some hand sanitizer and moisturiser that I have for work. Because when you're a pot washer, your hands get all, and it's really weird when people see a big tub of hand sanitizer and your hand moisturiser on your desk. Like, yeah, okay. Anyway, so yeah, that's sticking there and that. But one of the good things about this printing these things off is that with a bit of an adjustment, I can actually print extras for the Dalek figures. So I can do some like what do you call them? Perceptor. What? No, the thing they have in the chase. I've seen the name anyway. But yeah, Perceptor scanner thing, and maybe the mutant scoop, so we can have a Power of the Daleks 5-inch mutant scoopy thing. Maybe even do some partly assembled Daleks. Anyway, so this kit is really, really cool because it's actually, if I compare it to this monstrosity, so this is, I had a 3D printer a while ago and it just didn't work. I didn't really do much research to it, and yeah, so this was my first attempt at printing a 3D Dalek of this is using my own 3D files. Now I'd say it's about 50% okay, but you can see all the problems, like the thing is I tried to print this neck section whole, and that was the wrong thing to do. I tried to print the dome whole, and underneath it's just nasty. I mean the fender's alright, yeah, but And also the hemispheres are stuck on because I was trying to do it quickly. But this is done as an actual kit, so you can... Try not to break it. Actually, that's one thing I am impressed about this new printer I've got, is how solid everything is. It actually feels like it actually feels like resin casting, you know when you get like, reminds me of the old Warhammer stuff that you used to get from Forge World. So I don't know if I should reprint these shoulders or just file them, but this is a separate bit as well, so it's very, very cool. As I said, I'll leave a link in the description. It's very, oh shoot. Are you going to stick on? No? You're not. Because I was doing it the wrong way. Excuse the background noise, that's the cat. So, fluff. So essentially this Dalek is done. Yeah, and another thing is, oh for God's sake, yeah, whatever. But the plunge is cool. This was worked out to be 5-inch scale, but this one's better. And if you put it next to a character options Dalek, it's you can tell the differences. I mean that the skirt's thinner and everything's just a little bit better. The guy who made this has also done a Renegade Dalek from Remembrance and a Evil of the Daleks Emperor, which I'm keen to do. Another Dalek thing. Oh, this is a failed skirt that I did. What happened here was I was printing it, and then for some reason, I think this wasn't the bad filament. Something happened, and it just stopped printing. So it just like spaghettied. But if I wanted to make this into a destroyed Daleks skirt, I could. I mean, I've got 2 of the destroyed Daleks figures. Anyway, so another Dalek thing I tried to print way back when. Okay, hopefully you can hear that. How hollow they are. That's something that I'm really impressed about, is the thickness and the solid feel. And this feels like a paper. So this is the skirt section of a McMaster Mark VI. This was my intention, to make a 5-inch scale McMaster Dalek, and it's not too bad. The fine details are lost, and again, I mean, look at you can see the vents. Can you see that? Not really. You see the little dimples in here. I mean, again, it's got this nasty. This was all because I wasn't really. I didn't have the time to put into getting started properly. I was trying to rush things. So hopefully I'm going to get around to doing this again. So I'm going to essentially take advice from the Imperial Dalek kit and separate everything. So do the skirts and not just try to print the 3D files as well. Basically try and clean them up, make them more kit ready. Put little holes under, little pegs under here for the hemispheres, and maybe do a few of the details as extra bits. You know, because there's a lot of little details on a McMaster Dalek. So that's all the Dalek stuff I have. Another failed print I did way back when was a chicken for my mum. I actually did manage to do one. It's at their caravan at the minute, so we can't see it. This was actually quite funny because this is a good example actually of me failing to understand what was going on, because I should have put supports and everything in here, but I didn't. So I tried to print the chicken like this, which is why it looks so bad. So I left this printing at about this level. So I thought, okay, yeah, starting to see the wing and everything. Then I came back and there was nothing on the build plate. I was like, wait, where's the chicken gone? Where has the chicken gone? So I thought maybe someone took it off and didn't tell me, but no. So I printed another one, and that was basically the same quality, but it finished, and it's now in a caravan near Whitby. And then when I was cleaning out the shed, I found the chicken. It was just in the corner. I was like, oh, there it is. Okay, fair enough. Next things are... Okay, these are going to be redone. These are from Star Trek Voyager. They are portable hologram emitters that the Doctor uses. They are from the 29th century, I believe, from an episode called Future Tense or something. No, what's it? It's where they go back in time, but they get future tech because reasons. But yeah, this is quite cool. This will go quite nicely on my command Star Trek uniform if I ever wanted to cosplay a emergency command hologram. Again, they're quite solid. They look like guitar picks, to be honest. Yeah. Next thing is something that I was toying around with. This is the front detail for a biker scout helmet. I intend to print helmets on my 3D printer, but each bit is like chopped up into bits, and each bit takes between 12 hours and a day, and I'm not willing... See, this is a good example of the... I never explained why this happened. This was because... This wasn't warping, this was... If you can see that the circles aren't completely round. Again, in there and there. So this will have to be reprinted. The reason this happened is because one of the belts... You've got two belts. You've got one belt that controls forwards and backwards on the bed, and then you've got the extruder which prints going left and right. And they're driven by belts. And the belt that goes left and right wasn't tight enough, so it was slipping, or it wasn't moving as it should. But yeah, this is the front bit of a Biker Scout helmet. Probably, I think after Commander Wolf, this would be my most desired Star Wars armour. I'm going to have to buy the soft stuff, which is going to be about £400, which is... I can't believe how expensive armour is these days. It's ridiculous. My Clone Trooper cost me nearly £1,000, but that had everything in it. It had the suspension system, the helmet, the shoes, everything. Anyway, and the last thing was actually the first thing I printed, which is this. This is from the anime Bleach, and it is a substitute Shinigami combat pass. This acts as like an ID badge. Or it's supposed to, for the I'm not going to get into explaining Bleach. It's especially like ninja ghost warriors versus monsters and bad guys with big swords and typical anime stuff. But yeah, it's very nicely printed. There's a few errors. I've got one of these already, but this one is more solid. Again, this should have had support. That's why that's gone like that. But yeah, that is pretty much everything. At the minute, I'm printing the very last detail for this, which is the base under here, which has the three little wheelbarrow balls that they had. So it will sit a little bit off the ground. I then plan to print one thing I want to print a full-size Star Wars blasters, the long rifle and the DC-17 and the DC-15. The DC-17 is the long one, the DC-15 is the short one. Don't really want a Stormtrooper blaster because I only have helmets for that. I want to print a animated Phase 2 Clone Trooper helmet and a live-action Phase 1 Clone Trooper helmet. I want to try printing the armour, there's a lot to do actually, and also want to do stuff for figures. Like I can, because I've got all the models for Second Empire, I could. Oh, actually, this is something that didn't print very well. This is the test print for the printer, and this was a 5-hour print, and it got 3 hours in, and the filament snapped because I bought dodgy filament. So that's why that happened. Yeah, so, yeah. If you want to see more 3D printing, I will be happy to do some more videos. Hopefully I'll get around to painting and finishing the Quark, because I might have to completely reprint that because the head needs redoing. Now the printer is set up properly to not warp, or to print things round. But yeah, there's a whole load of stuff I want to do. I might have to get another printer, to be honest, because now I understand why people have more than one. There's so much printing and not enough time. Get a Dalek factory going. I mean, how cool would it be to have 5-inch scale Second Empire figures? I do actually plan to make one of the characters that the voice actors do, and maybe send them to them, either as kits, because I'm not a very good painter. I mean, it's going to be pretty easy to paint this, because it's just cream and gold, or bronze. But yeah, it's going to be fun. It's a nice project to get on with. I need to get some more filament, actually, some more colours, so I've only got white and grey at the minute. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this. Hope it's been interesting. Any ideas of what I could make or try, or even helpful tips and suggestions if you're a 3D printing expert or knowledgeable, I'm always happy to learn. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching, guys.